Well, and we're live. Well, Dave can't be here tonight, and we always start this show off with a story. So I guess I might as well tell one. Here in Maryland, the gym's opened up this week, and I called my gym. And I haven't been to the gym since the end of February. So it felt really great to be able to finally go back. So I called, and I was like, so what are the precautions for going into the gym? Like, do I have to wear a mask the whole time? And they said, no, the only thing you need to wear is a mask when you come in and when you leave. I have to tell you guys, it was really awkward because I went there, I walked in, and I was wearing my mask, but everybody else had clothes on. And they told me the only thing I needed to wear was my mask when I came in.
Yeah, that's false advertisement.
So
I'm sure Matt would have liked that.
I'm gonna take our limited show budget and I'm gonna hire a writer. It's gonna be a shitty writer, but it's gonna be better than what we're doing here. I mean, what are we doing here, guys?
Submit your intros to figureactionpodcast@gmail.com. You can not only be part of our show by being in the live chat audience over here, but you can
be free
also
labor.
Yes, exactly. You can be free labor. Anyway,
like they sent the clip and we just show the clip at the beginning.
Exactly. Or we can have guest intros. Record your intro. Splice that in.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Anyway.
We could have Kevin open up just a clip of him and saying, hey, y'all. They said, hey, I just bought another pile of figures I ain't ever going to fucking open. And now to you guys.
We could just have Kevin like making a snow angel in all his figures. You tune in to Figure Action. Watch it. Well, if you say so. Speaking of intros, it's Thursday. We've got, I don't know. When you have a 5-man crew, it's kind of hard to give percentages. But we've got Adam Sessler's favorite fraction. Jesus, I can't talk right now. I give it a 3 out of 5. Anybody remember him on X-Play?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm that
anyway.
old.
Yeah, that's so strange.
People are like, what is X-Play?
Yeah, right. It was extended play. It was on G4, Tech TV.
They had a show that was dedicated to cutscenes.
Yes, they did. Yeah. Was it Cinematech?
Yeah. We'll say yes because I don't remember.
Yeah.
For the sake of argument, it was.
Yeah, it was all cutscenes out of context.
I thought that was awesome. I thought that was a good idea.
Let me tell you something. That was like my Bob Ross in the early 2000s. Like that was I just put that on and I'd zone out and go to sleep. Because it was like
I watched G4 until they had that puppet Optimus Prime talking, and they had the Dr. Smooth or whatever his name was, voice acting it.
On G4, I don't even remember that. Yep.
I don't know if it was a part of an award show, but they had I don't know how you meant, like somebody's wearing a suit somewhere behind the camera, manipulating the Optimus Prime moving. It was like a CG Optimus Prime, and Randall, whatever his name was, and Dr. Smooth, the one that did those, like the Shockwave's Burden cartoons. And
yeah, I know him. But yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about, but
got some love
I love it.
for G4. Got to give Mark44 a shout out. Today is actually his birthday. Very happy birthday, Leon.
Dude.
Thanks for dropping by. I hope it's been an awesome birthday. Hope you got to treat yourself. Got some awesome gifts.
Yeah, go over to Nate's shop on Facebook and buy yourself something nice. You deserve it, man.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he bought himself some stuff.
Probably got the
like all of us toy junkies.
Just go to I'm jealous. I'd love to visit the Nerd Out shop one day. I know he's been there. Anyway, let's get the intro out of the way. It's Thursday. You're watching us here live on YouTube. Make sure you kielbasa slam that like button for us because it really helps us out. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you can see when we go live with additional content. We may actually have some additional content tomorrow, depending on how streams go. We'll get to that later in the show. But
there's so many ways that could be taken.
I know, right? But within context, it's wholesome. Wholesome.
Is
wholesome. It's like Olivia Munn. Olivia Munn.
That's where she got her start.
Yeah, was Attack of the Show.
Yep. And Morgan Webb. I like Morgan Webb. She was good. She had a very, very, very manly jawline.
She did, but that didn't hold her back.
Didn't hold her back. Well, she probably still does, unless she's dead. Is she dead?
No, she's alive.
Okay, then she still does.
Jesus.
I don't know why she said she did. Like when the show stopped, she took her prosthetic jaw off and went back to
like Darth Malik. Anyway, one more thing too. If you're watching us here on YouTube, make sure you pop into that live chat, as we said before, where you get to be part of the show. We love to chat with the audience during the show. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, make sure to drop some comments, engage us, ask us questions. One of our favorite things about being live. And last but not least, head on over to the Teespring store for Figure Action. It's the Fab Shop, where you can see our lovely model, T-Man 978, has one of our newest shirts. It's a very familiar design.
To some.
But
to some.
To
most. To most.
I gotta get like the drum. The drum theme as a ringtone. Like a text tone. That would be that'd be awesome to do. But yeah, head over to the Teespring store, Fab Shop. Just search for Figure Action. You'll find us. We have some of the lowest priced shirts out there for any podcast in geek culture. Well, geek culture related podcast. Let me not triple my words anymore. Helps out our show. Helps keep us on StreamYard. And the more shirts that are purchased will help us out and expand and get ourselves onto more platforms.
T wants to be able to eat next week, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And you can look good doing it. I mean, we are not a monetized show, so a lot of what goes on behind the scenes comes out of our own pockets. And God, I'm sounding like Shartimus Prime, aren't I?
For 10 cents a day, we can feed our kids.
Fun T-Man. But you don't have to. What matters is that
you got 10 cents a day.
Watch the show.
We're gonna put sad crying puppies on the next episode and just play we'll play Arms of the Angel and just they'll be wearing our shirts.
Our show budget on licensing Sarah McLachlan music. Anyway,
I don't watch Hodge Twins, do you?
Every now and then.
I don't even know there.
You got 10 cents. I want my money.
That's how you should end every T-Man 978 story.
Yeah.
You got 9.78 cents.
Yeah. People might send it.
Think about what you pay.
I gotta set something up.
Think about what you pay for T-Man. Do the math.
Mm-hmm.
That T-Man.
Well, we'll start.
I'm starving over here. This is imaginary chicken, right?
What is going on?
That just made me think of Hook when they were sitting around eating the imaginary food. I always wondered what that was. I mean, to me, it always looked like the worst sherbet you could get from the grocery store. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Mm.
You remember the
scoops of stuff that they had?
Yeah, but it's the sherbet. It was like neon green and neon orange and red, and it came in a big clear tub. And
I've eaten some of that this year.
I was gonna say, sherbet's not bad sherbet.
No, I mean, but it wasn't like any particular flavor. It was just like, what's the sherbet's flavor? Fruit. What kind of fruit? No, it's fruit.
Its flavor is orange and raspberry and lime.
Damn it.
I mean,
y'all remember the Flintstones sherbet from the ice
the push pops?
The push-ups, yeah. Yeah.
It looked like a really happy dog.
I used to love it.
I got it. I don't want it, but I got it.
You look like that scene in Billy Madison, like the Steve Buscemi cameo. He's just like,
Jesus,
putting on the lipstick. All right. let's start off with some how you doings and what'd you get. T, let's start with you.
I am doing okay. I'm doing
just
good.
Okay.
I'm doing good. I can't complain about nothing.
But you're gonna. No.
I'll pretend.
If you want to hear me complain, tune into a chill review.
I had a story. I said it on my toy hunt yesterday. Go to my channel if you want to see that story. But I picked up Jonesy. He was well under $10, which was awesome at Ross. I went to Marshall's like before I got home. They didn't have nothing. But it was fun that they were open. And they told me I couldn't go in there at first until they made a call, like Secret Service. Can we let 2 people in?
It's like a club.
And I got Scully, who was also from Fortnite.
That's a cool looking figure. I do like that one.
Yes, the paint until I scraped up her hip is immaculate. Sunfire, who's going to be the only person I get from this wave, more than likely.
You're not going to get Weapon X?
I do. What, the Wolverine one? He is the worst one. He's the main one I don't like.
That face, they like.
His head is ginormous. And he only has one hand.
You feel like ripped off.
I got enough Wolverines. I'm all right. I also picked up. What do you say?
Kev chimed in. He said, "Nasty ice cream was the Ninja Turtles popsicle with the bubblegum eyes."
Yep.
I used to love that. Oh, the Ninja Turtle pie. Oh my god.
Not the pie.
No, the pies were good, and they were hard to find.
Yeah.
The pies were heaven. And did they have a Bart Simpson one?
Yeah. They had all those popsicles, and they all of them looked like, on like the side of the ice cream truck, they looked great. And when you got them, it looked like someone had like worked them over with a crowbar.
Yes.
Looked like Negan and
the Hedgehog one.
Yeah, like, what happened to Donatello? Well,
they still make those things. But they're just different colors.
A bow staff doesn't beat a baseball bat wrapped in
they all found Lucille.
Yeah.
I got Peter Venkman with his ghost trap that's hollow on the bottom.
And nowhere to store it on his body.
Right. Oh, you know what I did? No, I'm gonna make y'all wait for my review. I got Egon. I was actually editing that tonight, but I had so many errors that it just got overwhelming. I kept messing up what I was saying and then restarting. Then I would mess up and restart.
How's the strap work on your Ray?
Which
on his left, like, are you able to get the proton pack to strap in without it like stressing everything out?
Oh, I had to like work to get it shut because his stomach is so fat.
Yeah.
The person that was a problem for me was Peter's. It was actually like glued where the peg hole is.
Weird.
So I had to actually take an X-Acto knife and cut it apart. And of course, Winston. You might have seen me doing that. But oh wait, there's one more thing. Randomly today, I got in the mail from No Effort Randomness, the Batman Who Laughs.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Thanks you, sir. Y'all know how people do. When I don't collect things quick enough, it just shows up at my door. So thank you.
I've been really behind on my fans toys, guys, just so you know. And if you need my
I'm super behind on the Legends class figures that Matt wants me to have.
I'm just sending you prices. You make your own decisions.
All right. Well,
he sent me the perfect reflector link. I'm like, they're cool, but not $85 cool. But then he said, well, at Nate's Toys and Collectibles, it's $55 shipped, apparently, right?
Which is much more palatable.
You know what?
Right.
Dawned on me the other day when you were showing me the Marauder. It wasn't until like later on the evening I said, shit, he probably wanted to review that.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Wait, say that again. I was
when you were showing me the Doom comment. Marauder.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'll wait until I find him. I was like, I thought about it like an hour later, and it's like, I bet he wanted to review that. I bet.
No, it was 2 there, and I made a decision. I carried it around the store, and I was like, you know what? I'm looking at the joints. I'm like, this is gonna get on my nerves, and I put it back. I'll find him when he's cheaper.
You know, it's funny. I was talking to Chuck, aka 30, about it, and he sent me the link for the new Spawn, the one that's the Target exclusive with the axe. Yeah. And I just made mention. I was like, yeah, thanks. That Spawn, of the 3 variants now, I'm like, I think that Spawn is my favorite one. I think that's the probably my favorite McFarlane figure of late. And he said that the Marauder was his. So now that has me kind of intrigued. So
yes, it's gonna have the same joints as the Doom Slayer, from what I can see, where it has that weird. There's no bicep cut, and the joint is on the shoulder, and the single jointed knees.
Yeah. So
if you like Doom Slayer, you'll like him.
He displays well, but I don't love him. That's all. That's all I got to say about that. That's what I think is
going to be the same experience.
Yeah. And Mark 44, you are very welcome, man. You're very welcome for the birthday wishes.
You can watch us again on replay after the episode. and share it to your friends.
Genuinely hope it has been an awesome birthday for you, man. And speaking of awesome, Matt.
What a segue. Which are being discontinued, by the way. Did you see that? They're not making segues anymore.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if they're coming out with something better.
Is it because like all the malls are closing and the mall cops
there's literally no cause for that. There's no need for them right now.
See, you're shaking your head, but you know it's true.
No, I was thinking, I heard that the guy who created a Segway died on a Segway riding off a cliff.
Like Thelma and Louise? Did he have somebody with him?
I just think like the episode of The Simpsons where they're trying to jump the Springfield Gorge, and he's like, "Look, this is a legitimate vehicle."
I mean, they look like fun, but I've never ridden one.
They had a thing. They had a thing in Annapolis called Segs in the City.
They did the tours.
Yeah, you would ride around.
So I've been
people rent them downtown.
I've been pretty good. If you see me here working just while the show's going, I have a bunch of Legends figures that I have yet to put faction symbols on, and it causes me stress. So I figured I'd just sit here and talk on the show while I'm putting faction symbols on. And actually, I say all that, and I'm almost done.
Zoom in on Matt so I can finish my food.
Oh yeah.
So
you're dark.
Yeah, the light that I have on my desk is out right now, so you just have to deal with it. So what did I get? I got this. There, I'm not dark anymore.
Leave it on. I heard they last for 17 hours.
I don't have the box, I'll tell you. Anyway, you're probably wondering, what the hell is this? It's a little LED light that's got built-in batteries that I got on Amazon. They come in 6-packs. I think it was like $9 for the whole thing. And why the hell would you want these? Because I have flame effects, and it does that with the flame effects.
And guess what? T-Man's about to put a link in the comments.
T-Man can put a link in the comments. But these things are awesome. And yeah, like he said, they're supposed to last for a decent amount of time. It's just got a little lever on each one, if you can see that. And you just flip it back and forth. And it's got adhesive on the back if you want to adhere it to something. I think they're meant for like closets or, I don't know, like dark, dank spaces where there's usually no light.
Let me ask this. Does it actually use a common battery, like an LR44?
I think the box says so. And looking at them in there, it looks like it's the flatter, what do you call them? The larger 20,
batteries.
32... I know
what you're talking about.
Yeah, the disc batteries. It does look like it, but the thing is, it's all self-contained. So I don't know. I guess you could probably change them out, but it's not meant to be.
Use your spudger and do some exploratory surgery.
Yeah, I mean, you get 6. So yeah, the first time one of these goes out, I could probably get a few replacement batteries and see. It looks like it's got 2 apiece, and it should be easy enough. And it's a little LED, so I mean, I can't imagine there's much to this to break, except maybe the switch. But anyway, that's cool. I'm just looking for small LED lights on Amazon, and that fit the bill. What else did I get? You all saw if you didn't see it, go watch T's review of the Hoth Rebel Soldier from Black Series. He is actually currently back on the shelf, and I'm sitting in a chair on the other side of the room. So he's going to stay there, and I'm going to stay here. But just imagine what he looks like, and go watch T's review if you really want to know what it looks like. And when you watch his review, you'll see that the visor on the Hoth Soldier is really loose, and I can tell you it got infinitely worse when I got it. It's just the material's just giving out like old underwear. Like it just keeps wearing out, man, and it gets stretched further and further. So I got a sewing kit out and actually shortened it some, and it works a lot better now. But I think I'll just go to Michael's one day and just get a piece of elastic and just replace it. But there's not much to it. It should be all right.
That's shit we got to do for toys.
Yeah, I mean, it's a minor fix. It's not a big thing. So the last thing that I got that I'm actually really excited about, because he's a good figure, is Magic Squared Sound Blaster.
Ooh. Does he have a larger chest piece?
I don't have the Soundwave for comparison, but I don't think so. Of all the pictures I've seen, I've not seen a difference.
Nah, that was my favorite. They didn't have to, but they did anyway with the Siege Sound Blaster.
Yeah, made it bigger so he can hold more tapes. So the nice thing about this mold, and I don't think I'm going to get the Soundwave because I actually like the color on this guy better. And the Soundwave that they're offering is a very light blue, which I don't like. This guy fits just fine in the collection. I have another Soundwave. I have the DX9 Soundwave. He's a little undersized, but he'll do. Giggity. I think I'm going to get New Age's Soundwave and see how that compares as well. But anyway, this thing, good figure. A lot of fun. He comes, and I think a lot of people were sort of pissed at Magic Square because it's the only way that you can get Laserbeak.
Oh man, that's almost as bad as what Takara did with Ratbat.
Yes. So people were kind of mad that this is the only way you're going to get, and this Laserbeak is amazing. Like when you look at the engineering on this guy and how simple but effective it is, you wonder how this wasn't done in the first place.
No.
But just the way this thing transforms I think it's better than the Masterpiece, but
I was about to ask.
But that's up for debate. But I love this thing.
Sportimus
really
says the chess piece is the same size, but he says he has both, and to get the Soundwave.
So you're an evil person. I do have the Tape Force on order. So to the Tape Force, you get the red pile driver guy, whatever you want to call him. I call him Frenzy. Ratbat, Buzzsaw, and Ravage. So the blue pile driver guy or Rumble comes with Soundwave. So
I can't wait.
So did you get him?
Yeah, I pre-ordered the blue Soundwave with Rumble.
Yeah, this guy is really good. The transformation's cool. The backside of the cassette, the boombox mode is pretty hollow, but the nice part is while it's got a big hollow cavity in the back, Giggity, you can actually store another tape back there, so he can hold two tapes in alt mode. Yep.
I didn't know that.
So good stuff. He's a good figure. Neat little transformation, and he's been freshly repro labeled, and he now knows he has an identity as a Decepticon now.
His back reminds me of MP10.
Yeah,
you can see that detail, like you see the bumper on MP10.
He's good though. I like him.
Highly recommend. Push it through the screen so I can grab it. Thank you.
The magic of the internet.
Oh, you turned blue.
That's all for me. Jordan, please tell us, how are you and what did you do?
Well, first, Nightwing says, "Sorry, I'm late. But I could just not take another one of Jay's jokes." Well, surprise!
Funny you should say that.
When you rewind earlier,
we killed him. Oh no!
You have to take one of my jokes. So take that how you will. As for me, I'm doing very well. It's been a busy week with work. I made that joke going into the show about going back to the gym. I actually did go back to the gym, and it was great because going back, I feel really motivated. And Lex and I we're getting back on diets. Next week, I'm going back on a strict diet, getting ready for our vacation in July.
What you doing?
Well, we're going to hopefully the Carolinas don't shut down. We won't really get into that because there's talks about some stricter restrictions in North Carolina, which is where we're staying. We're staying like the southernmost part of North Carolina, where we went last year, Sunset Beach, and we're renting a house for the week, and it's a block from the beach. So come hell or high water, we're still going to go to this place. It's just can we go into town? Can we go to restaurants?
Right,
that sort of thing.
Open.
Yeah, because honestly, like if push comes to shove, it's a house. We have a kitchen. We'll cook. We'll get takeout. We'll make the
no
best
reason
of it.
not to go.
Exactly. So, getting ready for that, and then the puppy has been fun. He just loves getting into everything. So,
where's the puppy now?
He's upstairs. So if you want after this, I'm gonna grab him for a second. I'll let him make his internet debut. But he's a bit of a worm, so he likes to kind of wiggle. I mean, really, he is. He doesn't like staying still for 2 seconds, and that can be the challenging part. As for what I got this week, we'll start off a couple weeks ago when I had my tree incident, or I should say maybe it was a few weeks ago now. I can't remember. I've lost track of time. I had a box randomly show up on my doorstep, and Lex texted me and she said, "Did you get a package today?" And I said, I said, "Yeah." And I go out and I look in the package drop box, and there's a package addressed to me. And I'm thinking it was like puppy stuff, because we were ordering a ton of stuff. Like we got all this food, toys, you name it. We got stuff off Amazon, Chewy, just all over the place. So I bring this box in. She's like, "Did you open the box?" And I said, "Should I?" I had no idea. And I opened it up, and it's the friggin' Black Series Boba Fett helmet. Oh. And I was like, what did I do? What did I do to deserve this thing? And I was super, super happy because I've got Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Poe Dameron, Kylo Ren, and this is an awesome piece to have on my display. And I hadn't watched any reviews of this thing. I just knew it was something I wanted. I had no idea that they went all out detailing the inside. And these orange bits are actually like a soft, squishy rubber. And then on top of that, when you press the side of the helmet, you trigger that. There's an LED there. And then on the inside, it's kind of hard to see, but there's actually like a LED in there to kind of replicate a targeting computer.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So really,
can you see
really awesome. Oh, yeah. And that's the thing is this thing has the best visibility out of any of the Black Series helmets, save for the fighter helmets, like the X-Wing helmets. Yeah, you can see out of those just fine. Darth Vader and Kylo Ren, good luck. But this you can see really well, and it actually surprisingly doesn't fog up. Another cool thing is they actually hid a vent back here, and there's like mesh in there. It kind of looks like there's a fan in there, but it's actually really breathable. So
you can really wear that to the market.
I could wear that to the market. And the only figure I got this week, it was on sale at GameStop, and I had to get him because I have Marcus, and that is the Coltrane, Storm Collectibles Coltrane. And he is awesome. He scales really, as you'd expect, he scales really well with Marcus. But, the cool thing is he doesn't have the shoulder armor like Marcus does. So you got a lot more range out of his arms than you do with Marcus. And he's got less bulky chest armor, so he's got way more range. Really awesome stuff. It's funny though, because by default, all of these Gears 5 Storm collectibles, they come with like their old man counterparts on, and it's just like I had to put his young face on him instantly, because like something's off with the old Cole face, and they made him look like Bill Cosby on roids. Is the best way to put it.
There's an awesome suggestion in the comments.
Is that how helmet COVID compliant?
No,
marry that one. Oh, marry that woman. Well, that's gonna happen. And then he actually can wear the Thrashball helmet, and it doesn't look off in size at all.
We don't like Transformers Sportimus.
Actually, I hear some rustling. Let me see if I can grab the puppy real quick.
Wait, he didn't see Matt's hole, which was only a Transformer.
Here, let me borrow him real quick.
I got lights.
Oh, yeah.
Sec. And the Black Series
right.
that you reviewed.
All right. So I got him. So y'all can see him. Since I wasn't able to show him last week. But here's Bean. So,
woof.
Yeah, he won't woof. He's looking real confused right now. But yeah.
He's perfect for the show.
Yeah. He's currently 9 weeks old. He's a Sheltie. If anybody's seen my other dog, Maggie, he's actually her half brother. They have the same father. So
why am I not on the floor?
Exactly. And like I said, he is a worm. He just wants to play. He will play until past midnight if you let him. So that's basically what he's doing now. Is he wants back with Maggie so he can continue to play. So let me hand him off to his mom. Oh, there you go.
See, I like your attempt at dog sounds.
Yeah. So what's really funny is she was just saying to me,
a lot of that.
He's lying to me because he has to go out. So he's 9 weeks old, but he's incredibly smart. He knows a lot of commands already. He's basically housebroken. He's had like maybe 2 accidents in the house because he doesn't really know how to tell us to go outside, or he didn't know how to tell us to go outside. We have like this doorbell thing. We have one in the living room. It's basically a button. You press it and it makes like a doorbell noise. And that's his way of telling us that he has to go outside. Well, he learned how to use it, but because we kind of keep him gated off in the living room, he's smart enough to know that if he presses that button, he can leave the living room and then he'll try and run to different places in the house. So
he's figured out how to hack you.
He has. He's figured out how to open the gate. We have a playpen for him. He figured out how to get out of the playpen. So, yeah, he's too smart for his own good. He's like a little raptor from Jurassic Park.
Clever guy.
We do have some Jurassic Park news we'll get to in a bit. Let's start off with a continuation of news from last week.
I have breaking news right now before you get into that.
Are you going to is that like Matt Baldwin breaking news or real breaking news?
No, I combined 2 of the things I got this week, and now he can do light up energon cubes from his chest.
Awesome.
Really smart, because people pay pretty good money for I wouldn't say they pay good money for it, but they pay to like have those light up energon cubes.
So, it's not the cleanest from the back, but it's not bad. I mean, it sits there, it holds it, and from the front like this, you can't even tell. So that's my breaking news. Now go back to the actual news.
Toy Mafia says John Wick had that dog. Hopefully Bean's fate is not like John Wick's puppy.
Oh boy, that was my favorite part of The Last of Us 2. You have the option to kill dogs. For some reason, it was.
That's your favorite part?
They were.
Wait, are we going to rename you to? Are we going to rename you to SPCA Man 978?
They were annoying. So it was. I didn't like it at first, but then it was fun.
Sportimus, how warm do these lights get? I'll tell you what. I will leave this on for a while, and I will tell you. But I can't imagine it gets very warm given the nature of the light.
And thank you very much, John.
I don't think they get warm at all.
No, LEDs.
I don't think so, but I'll do a test. We'll see.
Yeah, LEDs don't emit heat at all. I used to watch this guy. I know he's still around here and there. His name's Kip K, and he would do like science experiments. He was like one of those older YouTubers that actually did like straightforward, to the point, wholesome videos. And he once showed how you could make a battery out of vinegar and vinegar pennies and cardboard, and it would power an LED. And he like tested to see how long it would power an LED, and it lasted for like a week. Kind of like demonstrating the point of like how a button cell battery works. So anyway, now T's got an LED, and I feel like I should have an LED.
Oh yeah,
that could be our video podcast where we just sit around flashing LEDs.
Yep, he came up with his own use for them.
That's actually pretty good. I got to give you that.
I like how the screen gets dark.
You know what's funny is like how light up features kind of died out in retail toys, but the bootleg toys from China, they like have like a bootleg Captain America, bootleg Scarlet Witch. I watch a lot of Ashens, and it's like the one constant feature is they all have LEDs in the chest.
Well, not that they're bootleg, but that's where I got the idea for these lights. Is that the Magic Square Megatron that's coming out has I guess when people fish, they have these little sink lights or lure lights that are just little self-contained LEDs, and it's like the size of like a bullet. And this Megatron from Magic Square has one that they provide with it that can fit in the fusion cannon and the barrel of his alt mode.
Yeah.
That you move it around and you can turn it off and on. So that's what gave me the idea to go look and see what they have. So it's funny you say that, because that's where the idea came from, was third party.
That was how the DX9 Galvatron worked. It had the same mechanism where it was just like a little laser pointer looking thing. You put it in the fusion cannon.
Yep, Planet X uses them too.
Yeah, the Triptychon.
Yeah, it has got a bunch of them.
Yeah, that was
the problem with the LED feature is when they would add them to the figures, they lose articulation. Like
they don't have to though, because LEDs can be really small if you make them right.
All right.
Just the hard part there is, how do you change the batteries? Do they use a common battery? Because it's like, I have a full disclosure, I have so many button cell batteries. So like when we do meetups, I will tend to bring like button cell batteries, because like when I need one for a third party figure or an official figure, I just buy like the best value pack I can find. So I've got like button cell batteries for days. But
I think these batteries are the size of a nickel. With 2 batteries in there, they're wider than like LR44 and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the LR44s are the smaller ones. I can find out what kind they are.
Get a hammer.
Yeah. Anyway, let's re-rail ourselves. We don't have Dave here to derail us.
We can do it just fine ourselves.
But we can do it just fine ourselves. So let's get the weakest, though still strong, news out of the way. We finally have a release date for the Siege cartoon on Netflix. That's going to be July 30th. So for those who aren't in the know, we talked about this last week. Essentially, what's happened is the Siege cartoon is ready to go. However, Netflix has a policy for at least applying to animation where if they don't have all, and it's funny because there's a lot of content on Netflix that's region locked, but if they don't have a particular dub done for animation, they can't release it until all the dubs are available, which is strange because I'm pretty sure there's some region locked animation. But yeah, July 30th, it's a Thursday. And I believe it's 6 episodes, if I've read correctly.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's going to be kind of like Castlevania. I mean, don't know. I hope that they're substantial enough. I hope that there's not a lot of padding or.
If it works like Voltron, We might get those episodes, and then 2 months later get season 2.
Yeah, that would be nice.
2 months later get season 3.
Yeah. It would be nice. It would be nice if we do get a fast turnaround time, because it doesn't look like the animation looks leaps and bounds better than what we got with the Combiner Wars cartoons, the Machinima ones. But it doesn't look like it's the most sophisticated animation, because it's just basically they scan the CAD files for the toys, as we've all said on this show many times, and use that to make their character models, which there's nothing wrong with that, because then, hey, people that want show accuracy, suddenly your Siege figures are the masterpiece versions of that cartoon.
The representation,
yeah.
They never need to make masterpiece Siege figures.
Exactly. Well, unless you're like super anal about, gap fillers or this, that, or the other, or
I think they have the gaps in the cartoon.
Yeah, they do. But they like put like screws in there, and I mean, Chromia definitely has her backpack.
Is this true?
Sportimus, I have to disagree, because believe it or not, I was a graphic design major, and I dabbled in animation in the early 2000s. And I can tell you that the worst part about doing CG is sculpting, and it's creating your character models. But when it comes to traditional cell animation, you can reuse, you can't really reuse assets. You can't reuse character models.
Just background.
Yeah. And I mean, it used to be far more expensive to create CG, and it used to be, the inverse, where CG animation was more time consuming, because it was basically like stop motion with 3D models, and it was very slow. But with today's computers and tweening techniques, where basically you say, I want this character to be here, and then I want them to animate. I mean, like, you can even not only reuse assets, but you can reuse animations. Like if a character has a run animation, you can use that run animation or use that jump animation, and you'll start to see it. You look back to like Transformers Cybertron and how they used to fill time with like the characters transforming. I guarantee you we're going to see that in the Siege cartoon, where they're going to reuse the transformation animations. So, they have to animate it once, and then it's a sequence here sort of deal.
And the Devastation game, did you notice that everybody walked the same with that?
Exactly. They reuse animations for different characters. So,
one thing that will fill up time is every character talks like this, no matter who they are, Optimus Prime or Megatron.
So I have to say, though, like, to your point, for the 2012 Turtles versus Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is still technically digital animation. It's like it's not done with pencil and paper or cells anymore. Like cell animation was, they would like take pictures of it. They would do it frame by frame. It's kind of, yeah, exactly. It's like
South Park, they can do one episode in 24 hours.
Yes. So it's like it's still digital animation. It's still like the same concept. And yes, Hanna-Barbera and Filmation did reuse animation all the time. Yeah, and Disney.
That blows my mind with the Disney stuff, when I was seeing scenes from one movie were directly put into another movie and nobody noticed.
Mm-hmm. Michael Bay does it all the time too with that live action movies. Like he's reused bridge shots. He's reused. I mean, I know there was a shot of a submarine that was in I think Revenge of the Fallen, Revenge of the Fallen, Last Night, and Pearl Harbor.
Dark of the Moon, that part where the dreads fell on top of the car.
Yeah,
that was in another one of his movies. I forgot the name of that movie. I never watched it.
But then, like,
either way, at least we have a definitive release date, because I know people have been waiting a long time and hoping that it's a decent show. that has something to say. Although they're hitting the same marks, it seems that like we don't always need a fucking AllSpark. You know, I don't know. Just feel like there should be trying to get away from some of these same story points that they always use that have been repeat for Transformers Prime and the movies and
everybody don't know the origin.
Man, it was the island. Butanole, I hope I'm saying that right. It says the island, and I know that bridge shot from the island was reused in Revenge of the Fallen. All right, let's get into some legit Transformers news, some leaks ahead of Hasbro's Fan First Friday. I first saw these earlier on the Book of Faces. Dame Shock reported it. Someone has in hand some of the new Generation Selects figures, so I can only assume that these are probably going to be dropping tomorrow, at least on Hasbro Pulse. Ooh. We'll get into their event news in a little bit here, but we've got, first up, a deluxe exhaust, and this figure looks great. Only complaint I have is that he only comes with one shoulder cannon. I would have also liked a Decepticon insignia on the chest. It looks like he has the Starseeker insignia, which is kind of nuts. I would have also liked some purple accents in the visor. But still, I think for a deluxe, he looks pretty good. It says he's a Decepticon. And maybe that's not a Starseeker insignia. Anybody in the chat knows.
That's that pirate, whatever Double Dealer is going to be. That's what he is, like some type of pirate or some crap.
Yeah.
But officially, he's a Double Dealer is like an Autobot.
Yeah. But I mean, he looks good. I'm definitely a lock for this one. I'm looking forward to seeing the vehicle mode here. I'm curious if he is going to have like the points at the end, and it's going to be evocative of that Marlboro racer.
I doubt it.
And then next up, we have Grease Pit, which is another Micromaster throwback. I've seen a lot of comments on this. What does he turn into? He turns into a garage. I mean, I'm sure he's just going to be like one of those alternate configurations for Iron. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, the original one turned into a garage with a bunch of crap hanging off of it. I'm probably also a lock for this one as well, simply because there aren't enough deluxe Decepticons, and so this will be nice to have a couple additions to the Earthrise Decepticons, I guess War for Cybertron trilogy ones. I think I actually have a mess of shelves. Lex got me 2 shelves for my office for Father's Day, and because I'm a dog dad. And I picked up another one for myself, so I may actually move my War for Cybertron stuff into the office, and then use the shelves that are out in the main room of the basement for MP stuff. So we'll see. Jay Howard says exhaust is on sale on eBay right now.
Yeah, I can confirm that.
It's a Mercenaries.
And it's when I saw it, it was up for $25.
And Grease Pit is a gas station. Yeah, I think that's I don't know. I'd rather, while I still have like the free shipping and stuff with Hasbro Pulse, I'd rather just go and get them for retail at Hasbro Pulse, and they're always pretty fast at in regards to shipping stuff out.
Especially if they drop tomorrow. I mean, you can wait a day.
Might get a Saturday.
Styles Clasher asks, "What's your guys' thought on the next wave of Studio Series?" Well, it's actually funny that we should get that question, because that's actually a talking point I have. So a couple shots of Studio Series Blitzwing and Cliff Jumper came out. So these are the package shots, and boy, I'm still excited for Cliff Jumper, but Blitzwing is not looking so hot. So when we first saw Blitzwing, it appeared that he had a bit more paint apps, but here it appears that they forgot to paint the head.
His head is cream. I saw a close up on it. It has paint on it, but it just looks so plain. Everything.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
I mean, they painted the gun silver. They obviously are able to cast in this dark blue plastic, this grayish blue plastic. So, one of the comments I saw in Facebook groups, aside from the fact that people are saying this isn't accurate to the jet mode of the movie, it's more of an approximation. Why did they use the paint budget for, like this weird random airbrushing when they could have painted the head and painted other details in that dark blue color?
I don't need to.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way. I'm not all that excited anymore. Looking at how plain it looks so drab.
Man,
I am tentatively in on Blitzwing.
Do you guys think
any studio series, but I'm tentative on him.
I mean, do you think that this is maybe a case of what's going on with what went on with Earthrise Prime, where like when we first saw Earthrise Prime, he had like the gray fists and he just wasn't looking right.
Yeah, because those were official product shots, promo shots that were wrong. So you can't rule that out, that this thing might still hit the shelves totally, different scheme, or at least different paint apps. I think that's certainly a possibility. Like, we've seen some funny business with Hasbro and their decos and what they released to the public. We'll talk on that later for another figure. But you're right. I could see that happening, especially with such blatant mispainting. I mean, without painting the face and all that. That seems like Prime, like you said, Prime's gray fist. Everyone stopped and said, "What?"
Yeah,
and it was wrong.
Yeah, I think also.
But I'm not.
I'm cautiously optimistic. I mean, honestly, I will probably get this figure regardless, because it looks like an awesome mold. I got to give it that. Even if they screwed up the paint apps on the head, it still looks like a great mold. And it's not like, the irony here is that because Studio Series is a joint venture with Takara Tomy, it's not like we can say, you know what, I'll wait for the Takara deco. I'll get the better deco, because it ain't happening. But I would hope that, in the initial promo pictures of Blitzwing we saw, I mean, everything was right. Wish we had Joe here so you could say his pull it up, Jamie. But I mean, we've seen actual, footage of Blitzwing on display with the right colors from Toy Fair. I mean, here I'm gonna pull this up here, but boom, there it was on display.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah,
I have zero problem with that.
Yeah, exactly. So
I hope prototype. I'm painted prototype.
Yeah, and I mean, this looks to be a hand painted one. But it's kind of crazy to think, like, back to back, just how different those two are. If we go back, it really is a night and day. And I'm fine with stuff being molded in plastic, but
maybe they'll speak on it on the live stream tomorrow. And hopefully actually, people will be able to ask questions. So everybody ask that question, please.
Hopefully so. And Mr. Boardman says, "Why isn't he at Ford Phantom? What happened?" Yeah, I think that from the get-go, people wondered why he wasn't the right model of plane. I mean, I don't know whether it was
Yeah, do they have to have the license? Because Starscream wasn't an F-15, so again, another approximation.
Yeah.
But you would think too, Studio Series, you'd think they would have those licenses to do that.
Night Wainham, you have become Dave. It's come full circle.
You have become the thing you hate them.
I don't think they hate one another.
Yeah.
It's like stepbrothers.
Hopefully.
It's like, Dave would come in, he'd be like, "You're gonna call me Dragon," and then it's like, "You're gonna call me Night Wainham." That's how they'd meet.
That's how they get on.
Yeah.
This the thing, you hit it too, is that I want to see, for my collecting, for my personal preferences, I am not a big paint junkie. So if you hadn't pointed out the differences, and I haven't seen Bumblebee enough to memorize the missing paint here and there. Now the face is obvious, but the rest of it, I probably couldn't tell you what was wrong or different on there. I would be in it because, just like you said, it looks like interesting engineering.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to be possibly picking one up. So if it comes out and this is the deco, I'm still okay with that. If it comes out and they say it's an awful figure that falls apart, then yeah, that's where I'll have issue. If it's, Bumblebee all over again. But we'll see.
Depends on which Bumblebee, though.
The first one.
Yeah, and then they fixed it.
So my head is definitely throwing everything off. No. So if I buy it, I may have to paint that myself.
If that head was in that, even if it was just in that dark blue color, where it would still be wrong, it would still be right enough to be okay. Like I still don't understand like why they wouldn't just sculpt it or mold it in that dark blue color and paint the face silver, and it would have been like, it doesn't look as good as the hand painted prototype did, but it's good enough. I mean, end of the day, I have the 3A, 3.0, whatever you want to call it, version, and that thing is like beautiful. Oh, come on. I'm sort of funny. I'm kind of funny. All right. Well,
there's a show. Kind of funny.
Kind of funny. Speaking of shows, there used to be this guy that did commercials, and his famous catchphrase was, "But wait, there's more," because there is more. There's more shots of these Studio Series figures that are coming up. We get a better look at Soundwave, who again kind of lacking in the paint department. I kind of wish he was painted silver a bit more. However, the sculpt looks like it's there, and I'm hoping that he's a larger size deluxe figure. I definitely am digging this pose going on here. His alt mode, though, is
a thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing you can do, as Emgo would say. And I'm curious: is this stand? Does it integrate into the transformer? It probably doesn't.
You know the answer.
Yeah.
Search your feelings.
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
This is a thing that I'm not gonna buy.
Well, you know what that means. Someone's going to buy it for T-Man. More like Suckwave. Jay Hollis says, the Soundwave looks bad.
I mean, again, this is kind of in my own opinion, that's a piss poor design in the first place. But
yeah. I am going to get it. I think it looks all right. I love Soundwave. I don't like the alt mode, but the robot mode does look pretty decent.
Accurate.
If someone buys that for me, just know that after the review, he will be in a pile of never to be touched again toys.
And I dig the direction they went with Soundwave, with him being some kind of like satellite.
Yeah,
that's cool. I still think Transformers Prime hit the nail on the head for modern Soundwave. I think that was perfect.
A drone was way better.
Perfect. And I don't know why the movie would get away from that, because that's interesting and that's topical and a modern take. And this is just a space thing that shoots stuff from its chest.
And then he turns into a Mercedes-Benz.
Inexplicably.
Yeah. Next up, we got Skipjack, which, that's going to be Devastator's leg for a lot of people.
Pass. What's next?
So up next, we get Topspin, who looks pretty good.
Yeah, I like him.
Because he has a mullet.
And a little fork hands.
Yeah. So let's see. No, I mean, he has real fists on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the fork hand weapons.
What was the other one? Was it Leadfoot? Was the other one?
Yeah, the last one.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll be a Target exclusive, because it's interesting. Like they have them all in the armored up modes here, but it's like, that's their way of getting around putting any of the sponsorships on there, because they don't even have like Goodyear on the tires, Wreckers. The only thing they got on there is NASCAR. When Dark of the Moon came out, they put all the damn sponsorships on there.
Wouldn't it have been nice to see the Wreckers do something in a movie?
I mean, Topspin played Hacky Sack in Age of Extinction. But last, but certainly not least, we have our Bumblebee movie, Cliff Jumper. And I got to say, he's looking pretty damn spectacular.
Yep.
I want it.
So, I actually even like the backdrop he comes with, a little Cybertron scene. So.
Breaking news. I'm about to send y'all something. Holy crap.
Lay it on us, T-Man. What do we got?
While you're doing that, I'll give a little update. I've had this light on the entire time since I said, and it is perfectly cool to the touch. So there you go.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Dave sent it to you, it looks like.
All right. We're going. Do we know what the origin of these are? Like what they are? Are they just are they Pulse exclusives or?
I can tell you that Gung Ho and Red Ninja are probably just regular. Now
the Red Ninja looks regular.
Destro, that's probably some type of exclusive.
SDCC.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God on that Cobra Commander.
I like Gung Ho.
Yeah.
Red Ninja's pretty cool too.
I like all the accessories Red Ninja comes with. I just wish
the exact same accessories from the exclusive Snake.
Yeah, that's where those went to. That answers that question.
Yeah.
Where's the Baroness?
I like how Destro comes with sunglasses and a burning dollar.
That must be movie specific. I mean,
Profit Director Destro.
Well, there we go. We got some breaking Joe news, sans Joe. But let's continue through our Transformers news, because we have a couple more things to talk about. Next up, we'll talk about one of the less polarizing pieces, and that is ahead of SDCC. We're hearing about a collaboration between Transformers and Back to the Future. I think we all know where this is going. We're going to get a transforming DeLorean.
Nope,
whether or not it's that would piss so many people off.
It's going to be Astro Time Train.
Unless they had but you know what? If they retooled Astro Train into Doc and retooled maybe Punch Counterpunch. I almost said Punch.
Punch Counterpunch. We got you.
Yeah, can't talk. If they took the Punch Counterpunch mold from whatever you want to call it, because it was the tail end of the Power of the Primes trilogy, or Power of the Primes Combiner Wars trilogy. If they retooled that into the DeLorean and made that Marty McPrime, and then
y'all don't think it's gonna be its own character like Ectotron?
But Ectotron was a retool.
No. He means Ectotron wasn't like Egon. It was his own character. It wasn't like a transforming Egon.
Well, yeah. I think they'll make it its own character.
And T actually brings up a good point. So Star Wars and Transformers are two of my favorite things. So obviously the fusion of the two would be great, right? Wrong, because I despise when they made them characters. Why do you have to have the TIE Fighter turn into Darth Vader? Why can't you have it pilot a TIE Fighter that turns into Starscream?
Yeah.
I don't mean
like
so if this DeLorean turns into Marty, that is going to be very upsetting for me.
Ectotron still, well, he was his own character. He was still kind of an homage to, a Ghostbuster in a jumpsuit.
Right. And he still had the proton pack and everything.
I mean, there was that art. It like made its way onto a T-shirt. It was like a Loot Crate T-shirt.
Yeah.
And
Marty McFly.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the licensing was with that, but I mean, hell, if you have that design, why not? I honestly would love to see an original mold come out of this.
Yes, please.
But I think that punch counter punch mold would be their best bet to get a DeLorean.
And that's actually a good mold. That's why I skipped Ectotron, because I was not a big fan of the base mold for that.
What if it's Earthrise Wheeljack?
I'd be cool with that, to be honest with you.
That's okay.
And I'm wondering, do the wheels transform for flight mode?
Well, they're specifically showing Back to the Future Part 2 here. So the flying DeLorean. That's a choice. So I think yes. They could have shown it without the Mr. Fusion, with the wheels just normal. I mean, in theory, too, you could get 3 different mold versions out of one mold. Each movie has a different deco for the DeLorean, so you could go that route, too. I mean, if they wanted to milk it some.
Surround Games Go says, Back to the Future 3 train, Astro train. And that's what I was thinking. They could definitely retool that.
Yeah.
Also chimed in to say, every time they show New Joe's, my Marvel Legends purchases shrink. Jay Hollis says Earthrise Sunstreaker. So maybe you're onto something there with Wheeljack, because I believe we were thinking that Wheeljack shared engineering with Sunstreaker.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a remold.
So I would think that changing a Lambo into a DeLorean wouldn't be that difficult, though. Yeah, I really would like to see them just go out and do an original mold. Either way,
I mean, they're going to sell the damn thing.
Yeah,
correct. I mean, hell, I'll buy 2 if it helps.
if they have the packaging look anywhere near as good as Ectotron's did,
that's what almost made me cave, but I never got it.
I might buy it. Only thing stopping me from buying that was it was a Combiner Wars figure.
Right. That was my point too. That it's just, I don't know, man. Like I didn't like the base mold, so I just pieced out on it.
Sportmans. Hasbro milking a mold. And then we have a shout out for
colors, unlike McFarlane.
Mark
working on
when are you getting Epic Suicide back on the show again? She may not know Transformers, but I'd like to see the hula hoop.
Hey, you know what? Well, I'm not going to knock it. She's willing to learn. She's learning Transformers, so we'll give it to her on that one. Giggity.
What's the name of that? Vimeo? Go in there.
Vimeo, yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, now you really need that granddad hat, T. Because I totally just heard like John Witherspoon coming out of you there.
The Venmo?
All right. The Venmo? The Vimmy? You kids on that Vimmy? All right. So a little bit of polarizing news. We have a new Transformers line coming out. And I think there's a little bit of division on this.
Oh, there's disagreement right here among us.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we have the Black Series, we have the Lightning Collection, we have
Marvel Legends,
Plasma Series,
Classified. And G.I. Joe Classified. Now we have the Transformers. Well, no, that's dead. That's like. That Overwatch is DEAD dead. Yeah.
The Red Series.
The red line. And I'm so basically Robot. Yeah.
I don't remember what it's named for. It's stupid. I don't like the name.
Yeah.
Just call them Action Masters, guys.
I mean, the TFW article says what it stands for. robot enhanced design. I mean, these are kind of somewhere between Action Masters and Revoltech.
Wait, go back to that big Optimus picture at the top.
I mean, it's basically.
Yeah, I was trying to see the side. Oh, wait, I'm going to try to zoom in on my screen. See, I don't see a hip skirt. I'm praying, and it doesn't look like that I have drop down hips, but it doesn't look like it at all. That hip skirt is going to get in the way, and he has double jointed knees, which are going to be useless if the hips can't go up beyond 90 degrees.
Yeah, I think that the hips are just going to rotate up. But, they definitely don't show him. I mean, this would be a great opportunity to show him, like, the superhero pose. I am not excited for these. I really, yeah, right?
Even Optimus? Official?
Not even Optimus. Well, I mean...
You're going to get it.
No, I'm not. I'm really not going to get it.
Confidence that you're going to have that toy.
If I get that toy, you can come to my house and take one figure from my collection.
It'll be that toy. It'll be the only thing.
It won't be that toy.
No. So I'm gonna have to send him that Optimus and then come take one of his toys.
Look, the Revoltech stuff I thought was cool because it was hyperposable, and I think there's such a missed opportunity here. First, I love the Lightning Collection stuff. I think it's like some of and I'm looking forward to getting my hands on some of the G.I. Joes because the amount of articulation that's there is simply amazing. I mean, it's like premium action figure articulation. And here, like, where's the diaphragm joint? Where's the ab crunch? For $20, I can get figures that transform that have articulation that this thing is lacking. Engineering that this thing's lacking, paint and sculpt that this thing is lacking. I mean, this just does not look impressive at all to me. It's cool that they come with multiple hands and accessories and everything, but neither of what these two figures come with really blows me out of the water. It's like, okay, you get the fusion cannon, Energon mace, a few hands. He's got his pointing finger. Okay. I think that more could be offered given how simplistic these designs are. I mean, they are very slavish to the Sunbow designs. And, interestingly enough, there was so these kind of showed up in Walmart's computers. And there was actually a leak that came out to say what else is going to be in the red line. Now, we're going to talk about this a little bit later in the show, but Hasbro is doing their Fan First Friday, so I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more about what's coming out in the next few days. But these were initially leaked on Walmart's system. We've got Transformers Prime RC, Optimus Prime, Soundwave, Megatron, Cheetor. Not sure what the what Bumblebee that's going to be, whether it's going to be Prime or G1. But it appears that these things so far are only in Walmart system, and the memos only say that they're going to be selling at Walmart. I mean, to me, it sounds like they're trying to do their own line of, hey, you can get figures from all sorts of generations, and they're going to be, very accurate to how they looked in the animation. But I think that the Generations line, they don't transform, and I think that the Generations line has been doing that better and looking better and providing better articulation. And I feel that having these at a price point of a deluxe, I think that that's going to be bad for Transformers. And if this line were to take off, because then they could say, why are we selling these deluxe figures for $20? They require a lot more R&D and engineering. So
I don't think they're going to take off that well. People still want Transformers, and those engineers still want to make transforming Transformers. I don't think it's going to take over.
Not only that, but if Hasbro wants to make the other series more expensive, they don't need an excuse. They're going to.
No, they'll do it anyway.
Yeah, and in fact, then they'll be competing with their own product on the shelf.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is a different market anyway. I mean, I personally am really excited for this, and I am at least going to pick up the Megatron. I dig the proportions, I dig the deco, and I'm curious to see what it's going to look like. Even like Jay just says, this line's going to fail. Even if it fails, I'll be happy to have a decently posable Megatron that I can just take to work and throw on my desk.
If they were competing with Revoltech, and it's difficult to compete with Revoltech at a $20 price point. However, they do compete with Figuarts in the Black Series lines,
G.I. Joe class.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of debatable whether or not the Marvel Legends competes with like Mafex and Revoltech, with what they do. But if they had given us something that was like hyper articulated, I would maybe be a little bit more interested. If they had like an Optimus with a couple ball joints in the torso, or the top part of his chest was on a ball joint, and he could get like a really good ab crunch, and the leg articulation didn't look so suspect, and he wasn't so slavish to the Sunbow design. He was an approximation, which is what was awesome about the Revoltech one. The only thing keeping me away from the Revoltech one was the price. And then Flame Toys comes out with their Optimus Prime model kit, and I'm like, that thing, GameStop had it for a ridiculously discounted price on their pre-order. Hopefully that doesn't fall through. I think it was like $15.
Yeah, I got one on that. I'm looking forward to that.
And it's like it's a model kit. It's me. I can make it as good as I want to. I can take plumber's putty and fill the legs with plumber's putty and make it as heavy as I want to. I can cut away all the sprue marks. I can paint it up the way I want to, but I know the articulation is going to be there. I know the sculpt's going to be there. And if they just made this somewhere in that ballpark, just as good as a model kit, hell, make these things like, have the articulation of a 30-minute mission figure, which again, it's a cheap model kit. These things are like $15 model kits,
right?
And they're 6-inch action. Well, are they 6 inches? Maybe they're 5. But still, I mean, you get what I'm getting at here, right? Is like you can make something in that realm. And I look at that Optimus Prime, and it doesn't look half as good as a figure that costs $10 more and transforms.
Right. I'm wondering with the other characters, are they all going to be the same height? Like, will Bumblebee be the same height as Optimus? RC be the same height as Megatron?
I can't imagine it would.
It's a tough pill to swallow to get like a Bumblebee that's minuscule. Like, imagine.
But accessories will come with it. They padded something.
You know what? They might pack in like his Action Master style thing that he came with.
The backpack.
Chicken Fried Steak says people still buy them. They could just be much better. I agree.
I'm hoping it has hidden articulation like the Classified series.
Right, and that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Is that there's stuff here that's why I'm not really jumping to conclusions on it, because we're just looking at a bunch of still images, initial product shots. We'll see.
I know it has a ball joint in the bottom of the abdomen because I can see it on Megatron.
Yeah,
like the
Megatron has one, but Prime, you can see where the grill is. There's no way.
Oh, I don't know. I disagree. I thought that the grill would fold up underneath the windshield. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me. Let me get a picture.
I'm gonna pull it back up because
I'm pretty. I thought it did.
Yeah.
The one thing I don't like about the Optimus is I'm scared about those hips and the Matrix being completely visible. I always hate when the Matrix is visible behind the glass.
I mean, you could take the Matrix out, but then, I mean, I don't know that it would look right because they like painted the inside. And again, could all be promotional artwork.
Maybe they'll have more pictures, hopefully.
thinking we're going to find out tomorrow when these things are coming out, but I'm willing to bet probably the fall.
Yeah, I think you're right about the waist on Prime, because you're trading the articulation at the chest for his Matrix gimmick.
Yeah,
I think.
But they still could have made a cut here, and I mean, like Prime is your flagship character. I mean, you should sink more money into a Prime, because again, that's going to be your repaint figure. You're going to get your Nemesis Prime, you can do your battle damage Prime, you can do your
Prime.
Yeah, your exactly your sleep mode Prime. I mean, you can get some legs out of that character. And this just looks like a really weak mold. I mean, again, the Megatron actually, it's a decent sculpt, and I think it looks okay. It's just not for me.
I don't see where those are going to have drop down hips.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
Unless they do a McFarlane and they make these crotch sections like a really pliable plastic over top, a harder plastic that contains the hips, so they can kick forward. But still, here you look at this shot and it looks like, if you look at the left leg here, it's like that's as much as it can move up, and it looks like the ball joint's actually in the crotch where it's like dropping down. So it might be a double ball.
So on the Prime, you can see where it's jetting out from the sides to ball joints. If you go, not that, right there, if you zoom in, you could see the post. Well, one of the shots, I don't know which one. I deleted it. See. Yeah. On the one where he's holding his axe up and pointing his ion cannon, you can see the post come out from his crotch.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not coming from the top; it's coming from the side. So unless there's a hinge there, I don't see where that's gonna. Which is kind of a disappointing oversight, I would think. Yeah. Unless there's some. Now, I say that to say this: unless they have some kind of engineering in the top of the leg itself that will allow drop down, that would be cool. Where you're not relying on.
If they did it like the old GI Joes, where they were like independent,
right, and actually moved in the leg, that would be cool. The only reason I say that is because there's an awful lot of the leg that goes up into the hip, and there's room for that if they wanted to work that in.
What's interesting to me is, like, if you look at like this like upside down V area here, it's really recessed into the kneecap here.
It's double jointed. I can tell you that.
Yeah, because you could see both the pins on his left leg. You can see the pin at the top of the above the knee, and then the pin in the blue boot.
Yeah, Megatron is double done it too, and underneath.
I do think that there is an ankle rocker in here, because I can see a post right there. So I'm pretty sure it'll be on an ankle rocker, but really it's going to be dependent on how pliable these side pieces are.
And I've seen the other thing too about ankle rockers are, even in third party, I've seen where their product shots don't utilize the ankle rockers as much as they should, and they can. So you can't go by that, because it's, for whatever reason, like whoever does these poses doesn't all the way engage. There's been some figures where I'm like, wow, that's not good ankle pivot, but then they have this amazing that was never utilized in the shots. So we'd have to wait and see on that.
Jay Hollow writes, I would love for Mass to come back, and I would too.
Yep, me too.
Especially because I think that there is a really a market out there for 3 3/4 inch figures that people are, they don't really even consider. Even if they did like smaller than 3 3/4, I really think that there's a good market out there for simple transformation gimmicks in vehicles. Kids still love cars. Talking to our friend Bolt Matrix, Matt, I know your son likes vehicles.
Yep.
So you press a button, a vehicle springs open with like a propeller, or the doors become wings and a fuselage pops out of it. I really think Mask is long overdue for a comeback.
So I do have a question before we get off this topic. Can you go to the picture of the Megatron where he's holding the Energon Cube? Is that an alternate hand that has an Energon Cube permanently attached?
Probably not.
Because that's a very specific hand that seems to be cupping that, but his accessory list doesn't list an Energon Cube. It just says the mace and the fusion cannon.
I think it's probably, now I could be wrong, but if I had to guess, it's probably 2 pieces. And the reason I say that is just because one area you have to give Hasbro credit is they love giving people options. And as MGO would say, options are good. But just so you could have the Energon Cube on display if you didn't want to have the, the hand holding it.
Right. And actually, now that I say that,
said Energon holding hand.
Say that again?
I saw a listing that said Energon holding hand.
Okay. When you zoom in on the picture, you can see bleed over of paint from his hand to the cube. So it looks like it's one piece. At least in this image, it's one piece. It looks like.
I think it would be easier for them to make it 2 pieces. And
sure.
And my argument for that is this looks to be molded plastic, and I think it would be far more difficult to mold everything in clear pink plastic and then paint the hand part black.
That gray. Looks like what they did for this. Yeah, and that looks like it would happen.
I have several Hasbro figures where they've done that. Like some of the Overwatch figures had hand. Oh, the one with the burnt up hair. He had the little trigger thing molded to his hand.
With the Lightning collection, like the Psycho Rangers, they have the lightning effects on their fingers, and it's all one piece.
Oh yeah, the Lord Emperor Palpatine has that too. The Force lightning hands are painted flesh, but the lightning is blue.
But the thing about Energon cubes is that they can be reused accessories. So I could really see them just having him have the hand, and then boom, Soundwave's going to have that hand. The Insecticon's can have that hand. Because really, what it's hard to say how far they're going to go with the line. And when Hasbro does a line, even like Overwatch didn't take off, and it's dead without being officially dead, right? But they did things in that line where they're like they were future thinking.
Agreed. I don't know. I definitely think this is this is an interesting direction for them to go, and I don't hate them for it. I am definitely going to pick up the Megatron, and we'll see.
I'm gonna get the Optimus and the Megatron.
I'm just hoping this isn't as bad a misfire as the Hyperreal series seems to be. So I don't know if anybody's seen any feedback on the Hyperreal series, but that Luke is apparently pretty bad. The Star Wars Hyperreal. They're $80 sort of in between figures that are kind of sort of try and compete with high end, but not
did that
really.
Luke officially come out?
It did, and apparently the jumpsuit he's in is kind of an awful color, and it rips easily during posing it. So
that sucks.
And again, Hamill's face is kind of hard to capture, especially young Hamill. But the face on that, I didn't like it from jump. So I don't know.
Then it comes with 2 faces that look almost exactly the same.
Yeah, right. And then the alternate head looked almost exactly the same as the regular one.
Watching Bobby's video, I didn't like that. It was very glossy. And when they first announced these, I thought it was going to be like TB League. I thought they were going to be the price of Mezco. The bodies were going to be squishy flesh, and they were going to have fabric goods clothing. I didn't know that the whole body was molded out of that plastic with the clothing integrated into the design.
Yeah,
that's
it's
weird.
Like they couldn't decide. It's like they tried to do a hybrid and tried to do the worst of both worlds and couldn't decide on what they wanted to do. I mean, you're right. Like the 1/12 scale TV leagues run for what, $70 or $80?
Yeah.
So shrink the figures. I know you've got a 1/12 Star Wars scale line, but so what?
No,
Make
they're
these
cheaper.
Premium.
The 1/12 TV leagues are like, you can find them for a little below $40 for just the naked body.
But I mean, this is a license, full accessories and all. Yeah.
I know Kev just kind of went ham on getting some of the 1/6 ones, and it's amazing. It's amazing how you can take those TV League figures and turn them into what you want, and pay far less than what you would for for a Hot Toys figure.
I pre-ordered something of the 1/6 scale variety, and they're going to be taking my money.
That was very Cleveland-esque the way you said 1/6 scale variety
of the 1/6 scale variety, and it's a real wonder.
Speaking of real wonders, we've got a company that loves showing us new stuff. A new company hasn't released a figure yet that we're aware of, whether they're somebody existing under a different name. Lemon Tree, they're back at it again, this time with a Bumblebee movie Soundwave. I really want that purple potato to come out.
Yeah, where the hell is that thing? That's been a while. I don't know why I got all indignant about that.
That's what you do.
What was that reaction?
This thing looks like it transforms with a question mark.
Mm-hmm.
The articulation. The articulation certainly looks like it's there. Yeah, I mean, he's got kind of a Gundam-esque design. You're right. I think it's like the way the face mask is.
Oh, you know what? It reminds me of the MMC wrecker body.
Actually,
like the one they just used for bulkhead.
You know what it really reminds me of? The NFL football robot.
Oh, because it's humanoid proportions.
Yeah, he's got like the big. It looks like he's got like thigh pads on.
He got a name too, but I can't remember what it is.
You know, the forearms look just like the War for Cybertron game.
Yeah.
I never noticed that.
I just want this company to release something. Just anything really. I mean, I'm curious too how the hands work here, because these look like they're just static fists. And then here, he's got like a specific hand with a trigger finger. I don't think these are articulated at all.
I hope it can hold that gun, because that gun looks heavy.
Right. I'm kind of at a point, though, where with all the Bumblebee movie stuff, rather than just, getting masterpiece stuff, why don't I just stick with the 3.0 lines, I've been incredibly happy with it. It's been fun to handle. It's been painted to the nines. It's been affordable. I've got a hookup, shout out to Nate's Toys and Collectibles, who gets me the figures well below retail. I don't know. I do like transforming third-party. I do like transforming figures, but like when it comes to third-party figures, it's like, is it going to be fragile? Is it going to be fun to transform? Is it going to be durable? Those are all big factors outside of like the G1 stuff. So I love buying the Unique Toys movie figures, because every single one I've had, it's been fun to transform. It feels like it's exceptionally durable. I must have transformed that lockdown they have, several dozen times. I don't know.
I don't know.
Sounds like we scared Matt away as well.
You ever seen that guy? He does videos where he be like, I don't know. He says a whole bunch of crazy shit.
Yeah, Jay Holler writes, third-party transformations are horrendous. I'll agree and disagree at the same time. It's like the Legends third-party stuff, it is so good. Like, when I got that New Age Bumblebee, which is funny enough, is the only third-party Legends figure I own. Like, that transformation was so good. I think that was what, 2017 when that thing came out?
I feel like it.
Yeah. And then when I got the Unique Toys Lockdown, again, that was another one where, it's like the figure was like, the transformation was like black magic. It did mass shifting. It seemed like it was completely impossible. Same thing with like Unique Toys Challenger. It's like that figure has flaws, but that transformation is like fucking magic. And Matt's back. And there's a few more. Like the TFC Tentacle Commander, which is actually its real name. It's like the G.I. Joe Stormbringer Optimus Prime. Again, there's another third-party figure. Yeah, Tentacle. If you look like what it's officially called, it's like typos out the ass.
Like Tactics waistcoat.
Yeah, like Tactics waistcoat. And that transformation looks to be like a nightmare. But yeah, it's like there are some companies that, they really don't over-engineer. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with Fans Toys. I typically don't transform my Fans Toys figures. But like Iron Trans is a new company, and they came out with a Star Saber that, in my opinion, is leaps and bounds better than the official Takara one. And it's a joy to transform. They didn't over-engineer it at all. So, I mean, your mileage really varies when it comes to third parties. And it just really stinks that, like, you don't know what you're getting into with new companies, whether they're going to be simple yet durable, or I mean, really, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what the build quality is. You don't know whether the skill of their engineers. You don't know what their pedigree is, because a lot of these companies splinter off from others. It's nuts.
One thing I can't figure out is the inconsistency among plastics between third-party figures.
Absolutely.
You've got some like that just seem to crumble when you look at them wrong. But then you look at like MMC that makes these freaking like that plastic. I don't have an MMC figure that I'm worried about breaking. None of them. None of them, because they make made out of such good materials. But then you turn around and have the same parts breaking left to right from other companies on stuff, because I don't know. You would think that once one figured out the way to go, that would be copied or knocked off by another company. I don't know. That seemed like something once was figured out would be sort of standardized, but it's not.
Yeah, it's funny too that you mentioned that. Is like some of the KO companies, like Bolt has brought some of the upsized figures that he has to our meetups. And I don't know if you had to mess with that upscaled Siege Optimus, but that thing felt like it was MMC plastic and then some.
I didn't, but I get what you mean.
All right, let's get through our last little bit of third-party news here. Another figure coming out real soon is Kang Toys, which, again, a lot of people speculate is a splinter off from Toy World. It's their dive bomb. We have a prototype gallery of this thing. Again, very stylized. I get, like, Beast Machines Megatron vibes from this guy.
I see it. Looks like the most interesting dive bomb ever.
It does. But I mean, like with the first release, I think it's a little too stylized for my taste.
Over-engineered, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I get what they're trying to go for, and they want to have a bunch of little look at very detailed mechanical bits and bobs, but you can go overboard with that, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I don't remember what the IDW Comics Predaking looked like, but I vaguely remember them having somewhat of a resemblance to these when they first came out. Not once they got streamlined with Titans Returns or whatever line they came, Powered Up Rounds.
I mean, the IDW Predaking really did look a lot more like the MMC one. So, like, Feral Rex was a pretty good approximation of that. And I'm looking at IDW Predaking now. I mean, like, Predaking is like a design that it really didn't modernize. But with any of these combiners, I'm just, especially with a new company, it's like I just have to wait. I have to wait to see how the combined figure stacks up. I mean, the only exceptions I have are with the MMC Bruticus. Like I'm getting those as my individual robots because I have the Zeta Bruticus, and I'm getting the Fans Toys Menasor and the Fans Toys Aerial Bots. And again, those are just going to be my robot mode ones. You know, though the irony there is X Transbots hasn't made a combiner. The X Transbots one's going to be my combined Menasor because all I need is that damn trailer to come out. But I don't know.
I have no real opinion on this guy except he looks cool, but I don't want him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know Zeta's coming out with one, and then it's like, okay, Zeta can come out with theirs, and then I will just wait because it's like when they come out with the complete box set, they've ironed out all the kinks. 10-1, they're going to have a tune accurate deco, probably toy accurate deco for the first release, and then here's our tune accurate box set where we fixed all the initial QC issues, tightened up the tolerances, and here's all the bonus pieces. So it's like it's really hard for me to,
it pays to wait.
Yeah, absolutely. So
and for me, if it's not Devastator or Voltron, I don't care about their combined.
All right. So let's get into tonight's show title, because this is File It Under. I can't believe they made this. Y'all ready for this? Mm-hmm. And if you clicked on tonight's show title, you might have thought like, oh, haha, funny. I think the general consensus is everybody in the Figure Action podcast actually wants this figure. And if you don't know, NECA is creating a 8-inch Richard Simmons clothed action figure. And I don't know what it is about this, other than the fact that, one, they fucking knocked the head sculpt out of the park. But this is like... What's that, T?
I said he's a pony.
I don't know what it is about this, but it's like it's too ridiculous not to have.
I grew up watching his exercise shows in the morning.
Is that why you hate exercise?
Well, I was going to say, I'm glad he did say I grew up watching his exercise shows late at night.
Oh, no. Only thing I don't like is single jointed knees, and those ankle joints are suspect looking at the poses.
He probably has legit ankle joints, but because he's a clothed figure, the rubber shoes are probably what's getting in the way.
And we want him to stay a clothed figure.
Yes.
Well.
Now, I personally wish that they had done like a sequin outfit for him, because like I remember like his appearances, like when I was a kid, he would like always show up in like a sequin onesie, and I remember like when he was on like Jay Leno all the time.
Jordan, NECA does like 6 versions of everything, so you're probably good for that eventually.
Yeah. Like that's what they ought to do, is like do some convention exclusive where it's like sequin Richard Simmons on Jay Leno making Jay, and like they have Jay doing like the really awkward like, well, Richard, what you doing here?
I used to love back then. Those people used to be the way they are, but nobody ever talked about it. But you knew, like him and Little Richard, and I used to be wondering, like, why don't they just say it?
I really
up the wall.
I hope time machines are invented in my lifetime, so I can go back to young T-Man and be like, let me take you to 2020.
And you can see for your own eyes.
Yeah. It'd be like that episode of SpongeBob where Squidward just curls up into a fetal position and screams, future. Yeah.
So that's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
That's going to happen.
I can tell you that figure is going to pair very nicely with a figure that I have now. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be on my desk, and people are going to be like, why the hell do you have that?
And you're going to say, why the hell do you not have that?
Bingo. So, moving on to our next figure.
Wait, this. Quote, end quote. There you go.
So, moving on to our next figure, it's another one in the realm of, I can't believe they made this. Now, funny enough, like when I was a kid, I actually had the first release of this action figure. And I'm going to see if I can pull up the original one. Because the original one was just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It didn't look like the character at all.
Richard Simmons is too tall to interact with Pennywise.
Now there's a question I never thought I'd hear in my lifetime.
He shouldn't be. They're the same line, aren't they? They should be able to do
that. Surround Game Goes writes, let's just go nuts and make Jack LaLanne and Billy Blanks. You're forgetting one person there. You're forgetting Tony Little. And he has to come with a Gazelle freestyle. But honestly, if they made a Billy Blanks, I would buy the fuck out of that thing.
How about a NECA Billy Mays?
Billy Mays, and then you have to have Vince Shlomi, and then you have to have the convention exclusive version of Vince Shlomi, or excuse me, Vince Offer, where he's getting his tongue bit off by a prostitute.
But he's got a ShamWow.
He's got the ShamWow to stop up the blood where the prostitute bit his tongue off. And then after that, he directed movie 34 or movie 39 or whatever it was called.
Some number.
I don't know why I can't think of it, but the old lady that used to cook.
Julia Child?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Julia Child.
No, fuck that. Just go ahead and make Chef Kathy. She's the new Julia Child.
And Mr. Rogers.
You know who else?
Phil Swift, the flex tape guy.
Every game show host ever, like you need, and like Pat Sajak, you know, Vanna can get the 2-pack with Vanna. Alex Trebek.
Did I ever tell you, like, when I worked for Verizon, Pat Sajak was one of my clients?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Because I lived in Severna Park. And
he's a funny dude. On Twitter, he's funny.
But, like, in person, he doesn't enjoy his celebrity, and everybody in Severna Park enjoys his celebrity. He lives... I'm not going to say where he lives in Severna Park because, you know, again, I don't want to, like, give the dude's location away. But when I was a kid, he used to come into the same grocery store that we shopped at, and he just did not like people recognizing him. And back in my
TV every single night,
right, exactly. Well, also he lived in the Baltimore area during the winter, and then in the summertime, my understanding was he went back to Burbank. But he just didn't enjoy his celebrity. So when I was in my early 20s and selling phones for Verizon, I just didn't give a fuck. And so, like, his wife started coming into our store, and she would buy the store out, like, buy up all the new phones, buy out, like, you know, whatever services, you know, like, do you remember ringback tones?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, they would get all of that, get all the data. Like, on Verizon, used to have, like, it's funny now, it's like we watch so much YouTube on our phones, but there was a time where watching videos on your phone was a novelty. And you had to have a specific service with Verizon to watch like 30-second clips. It was like movie trailers and shit. And like, so his wife would come in and buy all that stuff. And she would just come in often enough that I guess like she was like, well, you know, the guy that I buy my phones from, he's cool, come on in. And so he came in a few times. And, you know, I didn't like, oh my God, it's Pat Sajak. But he made mention to me once. He's like, I appreciate you treat me like a normal person. I said, you're very welcome.
Who are you?
No, I knew who he was, but I didn't give a shit. You know.
I see some great suggestions in here too, like a deluxe pack of Suzanne Summer with her
Thigh Master. That thing's got to be.
Besides that, my favorite suggestion on here I've seen so far is Bob Barker, and he has to come with the skinny ass microphone that I just remember of like, why does it? No other microphone ever looks like that. Why is this dude?
Oh God! Kev writes, the dude dressed up like Bones and Muscle that did exercise. What was his name?
Oh, I remember.
Oh, he must have scared the shit out of a young T-Man.
No, I'm shocked that he still was around when Kevin was little.
Well, I think Kev's younger than me.
I thought you were going to say Kev's still little. I'm going to get a fuck you, Matt, in a minute. But that's all right.
So, SDCC may not be happening in person this year, but we're still getting the exclusives. So we're going to go through exclusive number 1 that's come out. And it's Mattel. I don't know. I don't know what it is about Mattel, man. Like Mattel, they can't nail sculpts, but goddamn it, are like their packaging game. Because we got a Dennis Nedry here.
Oh yeah.
First off, this packaging is so evocative of the old, not only the book for Jurassic Park, but the VHS tape. And it comes in a fucking Barbasol can that talks.
For real?
For real. Yeah.
How much is it?
I believe it's $30.
Wow, that is cheap.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But there's a big problem.
The fact that it looks like Jared Fogle before he lost the weight.
The fact that it's an awful looking figure. It's just an awful looking.
Yeah, I think this is the 3 3/4 inch figure, first and foremost.
Oh no wonder, never mind.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks like Jared Fogle before he lost weight. Now I will say, like the Tampo they got the Barbasol license. You know, they painted the pie up really well. But that's yeah. Awful. Yeah, I know that it definitely says we got Dobson here. See, nobody cares. And no, you didn't say the magic word, but yeah.
Oh, I know. Even if this is 3 3/4 inch, you said that's what this is. It's a shorty. Like the Star Wars vintage line, the vintage collection, they're nailing face sculpts to the point where I can't. If I see a picture of one, I can't tell the difference between them and the Black Series.
Right, but here it's like.
But here
he's still looking good. Eating all the sandwiches.
He hasn't gotten age yet and doesn't want to share it with all the kids yet.
Right.
That vintage Carrie Fisher with the 5 POA hips, her face looks amazing.
Yeah. Right.
Actually, you know what? If you want to go more PG with this looks like Stephen Root's character in Dodgeball.
I don't think I ever watched that movie. So
I've seen it. It's been forever. I've seen it before, but I don't remember it.
I was going through a phase where certain movies I just couldn't watch.
Here, I'm gonna.
Newman.
That picture. There we go. That's what he looks like. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this is a 6-inch figure. I know there is a 6-inch version of Dennis Nedry coming.
This is not it.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny because like this was the old Dennis Nedry, and he looked like Dr. Octopus.
I had that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I had it too as a kid, and it's just like, yeah, that looks nothing like Newman.
Do you remember the old Dennis Nedry? I can't remember if it's that figure or not, but his arms came off. Was it that figure? You could pull the arms off because he got eaten, but he didn't get his arms eaten off. But for some reason, this figure he can.
I'm pretty sure it's that one.
I don't remember, but it's a thing that happened. Kevin said it looks like Kim Jong-un. You're not wrong.
All right, so we got a cooler SDCC exclusive figure, and yeah, so it's kind of funny how last year they had I think the Randy Savage that I always wanted, and this year I think that they have the Mr. T that I've always wanted. So again, these are all being these are being sold by Entertainment Earth. And normally I'm not big on like cloth goods, but like again, like Mattel, your packaging so on point. Like they have a nice slipcase. What's that, T?
I said the skinny legs are accurate.
Yeah. Like the slipcase, again, it's very evocative of like a VHS tape. And it's just like one of those figures that like would look, awesome whether you took it out or displayed it in the packaging. They got the gold chains down. The soft goods are the only thing on there I'm like, eh. But, you go back to like how it looks in the box, and it's like I could have that on a shelf with like all those photos.
And never open it.
Never open it. But I think that's it's they nailed it there, and the face sculpt is definitely awesome. I mean, they definitely got angry Mr. T nailed.
Yeah, they've been perfecting their WWE figures with the face print. But that looks cool. But who's Mr. T?
Who's Mr. T?
I'm joking.
If that was a legit question, I'd be very sad
and scared.
A little angry.
Again, it's gonna be interesting. SDCC is a month and change away, so I'm sure there'll probably be some more exclusives coming, probably through Entertainment Earth, Hasbro Pulse, a few other sites. We have an update on the Spawn Kickstarter, and they're showing off some actual pictures of the artist proof here.
I'll look at that.
It is the soft body one, but we get a better look at like the sculpted NECA sword.
I hope this figure is good. When is it's supposed to come out in November, right?
November, yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy I already paid for that.
It's gonna be like that's like the fun part about doing a Kickstarter, right? Is like you've already paid for it, you forget about the payment, and it comes in, and then you feel like you got something for nothing, even though you paid for it several months ago. I like this effect piece here because it's not a solid piece. If you see it there, and again, like being the artist proof version and being completely black and white, I'm curious. There's no way that this photography isn't, they've dialed down the saturation on it. Like, there's no way that's just like the way this looks. That's just a clear piece of plastic. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be green or clear in the final version.
I just want it. Update me on the color version.
Now. I'm sure we'll see stuff. And again, like it's nice to see updates on this rather than having radio silence. Like I think the awesome thing about all of this is how transparent they've been and how in the loop they've kept customers. So that's been pretty awesome.
I went to see the baby.
Let's get into
we got more stuff.
We got two more things. Well, three more things. This one is kind of an out of nowhere piece, and this one is technically not an action figure. But surprising. I mean, it's cool that we're getting so much G.I. Joe news. I'm curious to see what we're going to get tomorrow. But this is I'm not necessarily in for this, but this is a GameStop exclusive Cobra Commander helmet.
See, why could they have the helmet ends flare out, but then the toy helmet flares in?
Because they want to go vintage.
Yeah, and they really are trying to capture that original Cobra Commander look. Can
you see out of it?
You of course you'll be able to see out of it. It's probably going to be like a two-way chrome. But
I might get that.
What gets me about it is the thing is like set to retail for $120, and I'm curious, like, what does it do
for that much?
And I say that because this Boba Fett helmet does so much. Like I showed you guys earlier, you know, it's got the gimmicks, it's got the sculpted interior. Whereas, and again, like this is made to look exactly like it did in the movie, to the point where it's like this dent is even sculpted and painted. Shoot, there's even like recesses in here where, you know, it's meant to feel like paint has peeled away. It's a really impressive piece. So this Cobra Commander helmet is the same price, and if I had to guess, you know, the visor and the helmet probably separate, and you can see through the chrome. But like again, what does it do? It's just three pieces of plastic. It's cool that they
like Cobra.
It looks like Cobra. It includes the stand. Does the stand have voice clips? You know, I don't think that 120 for this is really fair. Now it's cool to see. That's how much it is. So you go to GameStop's
website. Was 99.
The Boba Fett is 99, depending on where you go, but it's 120 MSRP. I will say that the Boba Fett helmet, all the stuff I showcased on this, definitely worth $120.
I kind of want the Cobra just because it should protect from the COVID.
So you can be the COVID commander.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that if it has any gimmicks, it's going to be in this base. That's what I'm thinking.
Did we know that there was a Snake Eyes one coming out too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the Snake Eyes one would be pretty awesome.
That will have voice clips.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it wouldn't need to have voice clips though. You know, with that, they could definitely engineer some stuff in there.
That's crazy. That's 120, but a whole automated Deadpool head is $99.
Right, exactly. It's like
they're probably looking to not. Marvel Legends and Deadpool and Star Wars are dedicated fan base, dedicated lines that are well established. So they can get away with a little bit cheaper price point because they know they're going to move a lot of quantity on those. So I'm thinking with this helmet is a test. It's going to be a what can we do with G.I. Joe? How far can we push this in conjunction with our other lines? That's what I feel like, that they're going to price it at a point where they're not going to lose too much on it, but they're going to try to move enough of it to try to be successful. So we'll see. Maybe there's more to it than it's showing, but you're right. It looks like just a bunch of plastic.
I'm thinking GameStop is going to screw that test because it probably really is $99, but they want $20 more. Just like they're doing with that The Deadpool figure on the card back. Everywhere else is $25.
40.
In their store is 40.
Yeah. What gets me about GameStop, and again, I don't hate GameStop. I actually like GameStop. And most of the GameStops that I go to, the employees are awesome. They know what they're talking about. It's been like a nice breath of fresh air from GameStop as recent as 5 years ago. But it really gets me that it's like they sell stuff at like stupidly absurd prices only to turn around and have fire sales and let it go for pennies on the dollar. It's like, wouldn't it make more sense to just have like a reasonable MSRP and try and sell the stuff for what it should cost versus we're going to bump up the margins on this stuff and not sell it at all, so you're forced to put it on clearance.
Like, I don't know. They're weird. They keep saying that since they're not a big store, they got to charge more because they can't get the quantity of figures. But then they'll have like 8 cases of Goldar.
Yeah, and you know, talking to Agent H at TFCon, you know, we know a guy that designed that Goldar. Like, that Goldar was a large chunk of the budget for the first or the second wave of Lightning Collection, and it really shows. Like, that figure is amazing. I mean, it's got the wings, it's got the weapon, the effects piece. The only thing it didn't have was all the paint budget, but they still made it work. And it's an impressive as hell sculpt. And then now they're just turning around selling it for $5. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You know, it's you know, had you just sold it for 20 from the get-go, you would have sold them all. And funny enough, from the get-go, it was sold out everywhere. And, you know, I don't know whether that falls on GameStop or if that falls on Hasbro for being inconsistent with the distribution. It's really hard to say. But, yeah. Anyway, outside of distribution, you know, companies that don't have distribution issues, let's talk about Mafex. We got 2 Mafex figures to talk about. We don't give Mafex enough love. But I feel
issues.
They come out with the shit first.
No, you're thinking Mezco.
Oh, yeah.
Mezco. No, where's my Miles at?
No, I'm thinking of Mafex.
Okay.
They pushed that Mafex Batman back 3 times now.
Pushing stuff back is a little bit different than having distribution issues.
Oh, I know.
But see, I gotta. If you're interested in Miles, got to put this on your radar, because we've got a Spider-Gwen and Spider-Ham coming from Mafex.
Get it from Nate, because they cost too much. Everywhere else, she's like $120.
I mean, it looks amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk like articulation and paint? It's like they got they got the texture work right.
I haven't watched the Spider-Verse movie in a long time, but I was looking at that Miles again, and he looks really good with the soft goods on. But when you take it off, that dude is super duper skinny, and I can't remember if that's accurate to the movie or not. If he's really that skinny, huh?
Yeah,
he was bony in the movie.
I mean, like, go back and look at the figure with the soft goods off, and you tell me if he's that skinny.
I've seen it. That might be accurate.
Okay. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I don't remember. I can't recall. That head sculpt is on point.
Yeah.
Now the thing that you have to mention, though, is that their product shots and their, like, this preview of figures, the face sculpt and the paint always look better here than it does on the figure itself. Well, I can't say always, but more often than not, they showcase much better than they actually produce. So
Spider-Ham's got an imperfection right there in his armpit.
It's also a pig dressed in a Spider-Man outfit.
It looks like he's got interchangeable heads and arms.
I could have done without him to save on money.
Save the money, yeah. But that's the only way they're going to get him out.
Yeah. I'll agree with Matt there. Yeah, because the way the Marvel Legends did it was, we want to do Space Venom, and his torso is bigger than hell. So let's.
Yeah, who are we going to fit in with?
Yeah, let's half bake Spider-Ham. We'll give you a Rocket Raccoon 2.0 with leg articulation, and then we'll give you a Funko Pop as your Spider-Ham.
Yeah,
I appreciate this approach though to Spider-Ham. I mean, I think that they're his art trying to make him articulated at that size is probably not going to make anybody happy.
I mean, they did it for Rocket, so
they did, and they have those what are those things called? Mighty Mates. The thing, they look like Lego people, and they're Marvel
Mini Mates.
Mini Mates.
Yeah, they've been around forever.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
But Spider-Ham's proportions on that figure are
make him a Bendum.
Really scrawny.
Remember Bendums?
Oh, they have those Sonic bendable figures right now that look really good. The paint looks like shit. So I can imagine once you play with it for 2 seconds, all the paint probably crumbles off.
Yeah. All right, we got one more thing to look at. One more thing.
This is the last thing.
It's the last thing.
Because I fell asleep like 3 times. Y'all can't see me.
And we've got the Mezco Hush. And I wish Dave and Joe were here to talk about this one.
This Mezco?
This is Mezco. Or I'm sorry, Mafex. Mafex.
Yeah.
Mafex Hush. I think this looks pretty good.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
I love this comic, but I don't care about the character in plastic form.
I'd say like they got some airbrushing going on. It looks like they have airbrushing going on.
It looks good. I'm happy for people who really likes it. And he comes with 2 guns. That's awesome.
He comes with 2 guns. Yeah, and again, like look, this is what they showcase, and there's some. And again, I know these are small, but it's
probably
just
hand painted at this point.
Yeah, you get a little bit of sloppy paint going on those guns. And I know we're a little bit past time, and I know you guys want to wrap up, but I have one question for you guys. So we know tomorrow we've got some streams coming from Hasbro. We've got the what they're calling the Hasbro Pulse First Friday, I think is what it's actually called. At Fan First Friday, where they're going to be showing us some G.I. Joe and some Transformers stuff. Do you guys expect to see anything that hasn't already leaked? And if so, do you have any ideas on what we're going to see?
I think given the amount of stuff that we've seen leaked so far, I don't think there's going to be anything else.
I think we're going to see something there. I think that the Optimus stuff wasn't really, the red wasn't really leaked. They had press release stuff. So I think we're going to see the rest of those figures that were mentioned in the Walmart computers, but not shown.
Yeah, I agree with T. I think we're going to get a reveal of the red line. I also think we're probably going to see some more Generation Select stuff. I think they'll probably give us an update on Unicron. If that Snake Eyes helmet is real, I think we'll see it then. And I think we're going to get a better tour of the G.I. Joe classified stuff. We might see some new Earthrise stuff, but not really holding my breath.
What time is this stream?
Let me see.
Rising.
What's funny is like they're not really advertising on Hasbro. It's 11 o'clock Eastern time for the Transformers live stream, and 12:30 p.m. Eastern time for the G.I. Joe live stream. So
this is going to be on Facebook.
Yeah.
Earthrise Dinobots. Yeah, that would be cool. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
I'm sick of Dinobots.
But I'd like to see. I'd like to at least see the DeLorean Transformer.
Yeah, Back to the Future.
Transformer, whatever it ends up being.
I'm holding out hope that is going to be a masterpiece figure. I know it's not, but I can hope.
The Top Gun wasn't officially revealed either.
No, it wasn't. So that's a good point. We might actually see that reveal. And so T-Formers actually also has an image. And again, this could be a fan image. This could be real.
No, that's not real. It's a custom project. I already looked it up.
Well, there is a custom project, but I don't know that he took credit for the logo.
He does.
He does? Okay.
Yep. He posted that the logo and the figures that he's working on are all part of his custom project.
Okay.
So I wouldn't hold my breath on that.
That's a little bit of a shame. Well, anyway, we'll go ahead and we'll wrap up here. Get some quick where you at. Starting off with, you know him, you love him. You've probably clicked on some of his videos. Hopefully all of them. T-Man978, for those that don't know how to use Google, where can people find you at?
You can find me here, usually every Thursday. And you can find me on my channel, T-Man978. No dashes, no hyphens, and all that junk.
We can't find you with the Midnight Society?
Follow me on Instagram. And Facebook. T-Man Chill Reviews and more on Facebook. And I'm on Twitter. I'm getting followers on Twitter, but I don't know why they're following me. They're following me.
At Night Wingham, there it appears to be a Joe and Transformers event tomorrow, so I don't think that we're going to see any Ranger stuff, unfortunately.
It's billed as just those two franchises.
Yeah.
I think they did Rangers already.
Yeah, they kind of did, though. The Zord stuff, we just keep hearing it's coming. Speaking of things that are coming, Parts Former.
Yeah. Okay, I like
Where can
that
people
one.
find you?
Not yet. It's not happening yet. It may not happen tonight. I'm tired. They can find me here.
You got his DuckTales shirt on for nothing.
And no, if it was the Darkwing shirt, you probably would be on something. You can find me here on this channel doing this show with these fine people, or you can occasionally find me as a guest star, a top billed guest star on T-Man978's channel. So I need to start sending in more hunt footage. But first I need to actually leave the house and go hunting. So we'll see if all that actually happens. But until then, back to you, Jordan. Where can we find you?
As for me, you can find me here every Thursday night with these fine gentlemen, also including True Star Screamer and Mr. Joe Crab. You can find me on Instagram as Extra Zero. You can find me on Twitter at The Original Zero. PlayStation Network, Xbox Live is Extra Zero. There's a space between Extra and Zero on Xbox Live, and you can find me in the Facebook groups as James Jordan. Well, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. It's been great being here. It's been great having you all, and we're looking forward to doing this again next week. So be sure to join us next Thursday night. Same Figure Action channel, same Figure Action podcast, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's been a heck of a night. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you again real soon. Good night, everybody.
Bye.